Howdy folks, so this time around I'm going to be telling you how to play the Commander class. Now the Commander class in Rising Storm 2 is a very advanced and important class. So if you've not actually played the game yet or a lot, make sure you play the game, make sure you have a go at being squad leader, and make sure you actually understand how and what is expected of you before you even think about going as Commander. So first things first, what you need to do as a commander is find a radio point. These are very important points for you because this actually allows you to call in everything that you need to call in. So these are actually highlighted as little yellow points on the map, or if you've got any radio men in your team, stand by one of them and use their radio. If you do have any radio men in your team, hopefully they're going to be kind of bodyguarding you anyway. That is their role in the game. So this is on the US side. Now this is the screen you're going to be seeing pretty much all game if you are playing as Commander. First things first, what you need to actually become accustomed to are the 6 buttons on the top there. So you've got rapid deployment, aerial, recon, and then you've got, with the US, a couple of different strikes that you can actually lay down. So you've got your AC-47, you've got your napalm, and you've got just your artillery strikes. Each are best for different situations. AC-47s are good in open, wide spaces. Napalm again is also good in wide open spaces. Artillery is very good for pinning people down in buildings. Make sure you're using the right kind of strike as you're playing Commander. And with the Vietnamese team, you have ambush deployment, which is exactly the same as rapid deployment, scout recon, cancel artillery, and then you have the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which actually reduces the amount of tickets you lose and reduces the time it takes for people to redeploy. You have a request barrage, which is just like the artillery strike, very useful for pinning people down in certain areas, and then you have also anti-air missiles, which will literally destroy everything that is currently in the air, which has been called in by the US, or any helicopters that they are using. Now, what you also need to do is command your squads. Make sure you are telling your squad leaders where to take their squads. What I was doing as the US team was telling every squad to attack a certain point, whilst I was laying down different strikes to keep the enemy pinned back. This, however, didn't really work so well, and I've kind of used a bit of a distraction technique in terms of getting everyone to attack A and then putting all my artillery and stuff down there. When that didn't work, I got then everyone to attack B, and that did actually work out quite well. So distraction techniques as the commander you can use, and they're very, very useful. When I was playing the Vietnamese commander, however, I was operating a little bit differently, and I was getting all of my squads to actually individually defend certain points. So I knew every area of the map was defended and I wasn't going to get flanked by the enemy, and I could trust on my squads to make sure the points were defended as best as they could be. Really, really good fun playing Commander. I absolutely love it. It's such a good fun role to play, especially when you've actually played it a few times and you've got a bit of the hang of it. It's so good fun to play, especially if you've actually got really active squad leaders and really active and communicative team which can actually do what they're being told, what you're telling them to do. Really is such an important role, the commander. It may take you a little while to fully become accustomed to it, but make sure you understand what's going on in the game first before you go playing commander. So you'll see the only areas I can actually lay down strikes are these little flashing icons. Now these will appear in white, when a squad leader actually marks a target for you. Hopefully you've got all of your squad leaders marking targets. That's the only time you can actually lay down strikes. You need a marked position to lay down a strike. Now your rapid deployment is best used when you've got loads of people waiting to deploy, because this will either instantly actually reinforce and bring those people back from the dead, or it's going to drastically cut down the time, because you can actually really start pushing on the enemy if you're using these things correctly. Like I said, make sure you are constantly telling your squad leaders where they need to be going and what they need to be focusing on, because some people do not play squad leader properly. Some people need to be reminded. And the thing is, if you have bad squad leaders, you are not going to be able to do fuck all as commander, because you're not going to have any marked targets and people aren't going to be doing as they're told. So you're going to be losing a lot more games than if you had good squad leaders who are constantly marking targets, who are actually obeying your commands and going where they're being told and just fulfilling their duties. Make sure you keep pressurizing squad leaders, and if they're not pulling their weight, make sure that you actually vote, roll, kick them out, because they are being fucking useless. It's going to make you look bad because you can't do bugger all. One last thing I want to say is about the aerial recon, or the spy recon for the Vietnamese. Make sure you're using this as soon as it actually is available, because this is going to highlight on the map to you and everyone else enemies' positions every couple of seconds. Very, very useful. Make sure you're using this in conjunction with your strikes as well, because if your squad leaders have marked down multiple targets, you want to be putting a strike down where the most enemy are. So make sure you're using this in conjunction with your strikes. Best way of doing this is using your recon skill literally about 10 to 20 seconds before you think about putting a strike down. So if you're waiting for the timer on some of your strikes, make sure you use your aerial recon about 20 seconds or so before, and then you can get a good idea of positions of the enemy and where they're moving as well. So that was a pretty in-depth and detailed explanation of the commander role. If you want to see it in action a little bit more, then please do let me know, and I'll do a bit more of gameplay and everything for it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you're interested in any more Rising Storm 2 stuff, please do subscribe, because there's going to be plenty of stuff coming up. Thanks for watching, and I hope it's helped you, and as always, I'll catch you all in the next one.